Yes, Charleston White is correct. I'm a rapper, not a dealer. Be sure to catch my new show, 50 Cent, 50 Ways.
50 Cent just humiliated Big Meech after reports dropped.
I see that Meech home concert got the streets talking. The biggest Meech home, the streets back, that's what I'm talking about. That's how real niggas come home and get it.
That Rick Ross allegedly scammed him out of a jaw-dropping $120 million deal.
50, who own your masters? Who own your masters? I buy your masters. You better. I will buy your masters.
Ross had been running his mouth about major movie projects and huge opportunities, but in the end, he delivered absolutely nothing. Now Meech is left looking broke and embarrassed, while 50 turns his name into pure comedy for the whole world to see.
Here's the clip where he made those promises loud and clear.
Yeah, so look, I do want to do a BMF film because you've been entertained by a lackluster, small budget series. Now it's time to do a big budget film. Which director? Shout out.
So wild that fans are even saying the only way this drama ends is with Meech actually stepping into the boxing ring to fight 50. Imagine that headline. But let's rewind to where all this chaos started. After Big Meech got out of the streets, he really thought his comeback was about to be legendary. And that's when Rick Ross swooped in, full of promises that sounded like a dream come true. He hyped up a $120 million film deal, massive projects, the whole package, and the receipts don't lie. There's even a clip where Ross made those bold promises loud and crystal clear. It looked like Meech was finally about to cash in on his status as a street legend, but instead, Ross gave him nothing but smoke and mirrors. He basically used Meech's name just to flex on 50, his longtime rival, without ever delivering a single thing.
To my homie F. Gary Gray, Antoine Foucault, what's up? Tarantino, it's a lot of legends. This is gonna be big.
Was dangling movie dreams like bait. It was actually 50 Cent putting up the real money. He's the one who made the BMF show a reality. He paid for Lil Meech's acting classes and he gave him the spotlight to shine. Ross, just empty talk and free PR clout. And don't think it's only 50 claiming that. People close to him back it up too. Tony Yayo himself broke it all down with no hesitation. This feud is getting nastier by the day, and you don't want to miss what's coming next. Make sure you hit that subscribe button to Juicy Reel for the rest of the tea. Now the reports are saying Big Meech is frustrated, broke, and finally realizing Rick Ross only linked up with him just to take shots at 50 Cent. Ultimate embarrassment, because instead of leveling up, Meech is out here looking like a pawn in somebody else's petty beef. But trust me, the fake promises were just a warm-up. Things really spiraled when Meech's own son got caught up in the drama. After those leaked texts where Lil Meech was allegedly saying F Ross, you'd think he'd keep his distance, right? Nope. Just days later, cameras catch him hanging out with Rick Ross at the club like they're besties. Make it make sense. The viral video had everybody talking, Lil Meech and Ross side by side, whispering in each other's ears, posing for pics, smiling big while the whole spot was lit up in red lights. It looked like a reunion, not a rivalry, and of course you know 50 Cent wasn't about to let that slide. He hopped online with one of his signature troll jokes, saying Ross told Lil Meech to give him his dad's address so he could send some Wingstop wings over. Savage. But here's the kicker, that joke wasn't just comedy, it was a full-on message. 50 was basically saying Ross ain't building anything for Meech. He's just feeding him scraps like fast food leftovers. And if you thought that was brutal, wait till you hear this. Out of nowhere, 50 dropped a now deleted post exposing that he personally had to send Lil Meech to rehab. That revelation shocked everyone because it wasn't just trolling anymore, it was pulling receipts from behind the scenes. This story is getting crazier by the minute, and you already know there's more heat coming. Hit that subscribe button to Juicy Reel so you don't miss the next bombshell. 50 came out swinging with the details. He said Lil Meech was showing up to set high, so lit that he even threw up during a weapons test. And if that wasn't wild enough, they allegedly found whippets in his truck. 50 even joked that he had no idea what whippets were and had to Google it. He painted the whole picture of himself stepping in as the responsible one, trying to keep Lil Meech focused, while Meech's own father was out here hyping up the same destructive habits. And this ain't just talk, remember, Lil Meech even managed to get himself arrested at an airport. That right there says a lot about the chaos going on. Once 50 put all of this out there, people started questioning everything. Did 50 actually save Lil Meech's career from falling apart before it even took off? And if that's true, then why on earth is Meech suddenly cozying up with Rick Ross? The whole situation just wasn't adding up. Then, boom, another voice jumped in and made things way uglier. Michael Rainey Jr., the actor everybody knows as Tariq from Power, went live and didn't hold back for a single second. A fan asked him if he felt bad for Lil Meech, and instead of dodging the question or being politically correct, Michael went straight savage mode with his answer. He said exactly what was on his mind, no filter. That clip spread like wildfire across social media, and of course, who do you think reposted it with a laugh? Yep, none other than 50 Cent himself. He even doubled down by echoing Michael's words in his caption, basically stamping approval on the whole thing. The message was loud and clear. 50 was fully backing his power star while pushing the Meech is weak narrative harder than ever. And for Meech, the timing couldn't have been worse. It made him look like he was losing respect, not just from fans, but from everybody in 50's circle. This drama just keeps snowballing. And trust me, you don't want to miss what's next. Hit that subscribe button to Juicy Reels so you're locked in for the next twist. The truth is, all this smoke had been bubbling since Big Meech's failed Welcome Back concert. When Meech came home, people expected fireworks, a massive comeback moment stacked with rap legends. But instead of keeping 50 in the mix, the man who literally turned his story into a TV empire, Meech decided to lean on Rick Ross instead. There's even a clip of them hyping the event, making it seem like it was going to be one of the most legendary concerts ever, but guess what? That move backfired in the worst way possible. The concert never even happened. For 50, that was the last straw. He went off accusing Meech of cutting deals with the feds and blasting him all over social media. And the fans? They started questioning everything about Meech's image as a street legend, and teaming up with Rick Ross only made it uglier. To the public, it looked like Meech traded loyalty for clout, and 50 wasted no time turning that idea into facts with his non-stop posts. Instead of making history with an iconic return, the so-called comeback turned into the exact moment people stopped writing for Meech. His credibility was slipping fast, and that's when Meech finally decided to clap back. Meech posted an old throwback picture of him with 50, but here's the kicker. He slapped a giant rat emoji right over 50's face. No guessing needed. He was calling 50 a snitch straight up, and he didn't stop there. He doubled down by calling him an internet gangster, basically saying 50 does nothing but troll from behind his phone like a keyboard warrior. This was no longer just rap beef. This was straight disrespect going public, and trust, the fallout from this move was brutal. Stick with Juicy Reel and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next wild turn in this feud. Rick Ross wasn't about to sit quiet. He piled on too, mocking 50 for being salty about his link up with Big Meech. Fans saw the whole thing as a straight-up tag team move, with Ross co-signing Meech just to poke the bear even harder. There's even a moment where Ross flat out mocked 50 for being mad that Meech was standing right next to him, like it was all just one big joke at 50's expense. But here's where people caught the irony. 50 had actually given Lil Meech real opportunities, investing in his acting career and putting him on with the BMF show, while Ross was only offering flashy photo ops. Yet somehow, Meech seemed more willing to roll with Ross. That contradiction had the internet buzzing, and it sparked the next wild rumor that Meech wanted to fight 50 for real. After the rat post and Ross's non-stop trolling, the internet exploded with chatter about a possible boxing match between 50 Cent and Big Meech. Some fans thought it'd be epic, while others thought it was sad, saying Meech had been reduced to chasing clout through celebrity boxing just to validate himself. But what really threw fuel on the fire was Meech himself. When asked if he'd ever swing back, he hinted that he'd lace up the gloves if it came down to it. Even if he said it half-jokingly, the internet ate it up and ran with the story full speed. Once the boxing buzz hit the blogs, it spread like wildfire. You couldn't scroll without seeing it. But just as the hype reached its peak, Wack 100 came in with a bombshell theory that shook the whole narrative. According to Wack, this beef wasn't just about loyalty or Rick Ross, it was about secrets. He claimed Meech's own confidant, Tammy Cowan, had once told 50 that Meech actually conspired with federal authorities in other street cases. And now that's the kind of accusation that can flip the whole game upside down. Stick with Juicy Reel and smash that subscribe button, because the next twist in this saga is about to get even crazier. In other words, Wack was hinting that Big Meech wasn't nearly as loyal to the streets as people always believed, and that's exactly where 50's whole snitch narrative really came from. But Wack didn't stop there. He pushed it even further, saying that Tammy, Meech's own confidant, might have had her own motives for turning on him. Maybe she felt abandoned when he got locked up, or maybe she was tired of him trying to claw back his life rights, the same rights he had already negotiated with 50 for the BMF series. If any of that's true, it puts Meech in a tight corner because it means the person closest to him might have been secretly feeding 50 ammo the entire time. And the way Wack framed it, he made it sound like betrayal mixed with business gone sour, a deadly combo in this game. But whether Wack was spilling straight facts or just stirring the pot for clout, one thing became crystal clear. It gave 50 even more firepower to keep clowning, and fans, they ate it up. One of the biggest viral moments came when Big Meech popped out wearing Kanye West's iconic graduation jacket. On the surface, it looked like just a flashy fit, a simple flex. But the internet caught the symbolism instantly. That's the same album that famously outsold 50 back in their 2007 head-to-head sales battle. Some fans laughed it off like a coincidence, but others swore Meech did it on purpose, like he was leaning into 50's old losses just to poke his former ally in the ribs. Either way, the timing made it look messy, like Meech was doubling down on bad optics instead of clearing his name. And trust me, this saga's not slowing down anytime soon. Subscribe to Juicy Reel now so you don't miss the next explosive twist. But if you thought the Kanye jacket moment was the peak of the trolling, oh no, it only set the stage for the next round of chaos. After that stunt, fans swarmed the comments calling Big Meech out of touch and accusing him of chasing clout instead of fixing his reputation. The energy was shifting fast, and instead of sympathy, people were laughing at him like he was the punchline of his own story. And then came 50's next move. He dropped another petty but lethal post, this time showing side-by-side pictures of his BMF series cast versus Big Meech's failed concert flyers. The message, clear as day. I made your story legendary, you tried, and you flopped. It was savage, and the internet ran wild with memes turning Meech's comeback into a full-blown joke. Meanwhile, Rick Ross kept fueling the fire too, jumping into comments, liking shady posts, and even hinting that he might put Meech in a music video just to rub it in 50's face. Fans started clowning, saying Ross was treating Meech like a prop instead of a partner, and yet Meech still kept showing up around him. The optics just looked bad, like he was being passed around as a pawn in somebody else's game. And while all this mess was unfolding, whispers started spreading that 50 wasn't done yet. He was sitting on even more receipts. Some insiders claimed he had texts, calls, and straight-up contracts that could expose just how deep Meech's ties with Ross really went. If that's true, then this saga hasn't even hit its climax yet. Right now, it feels like Big Meech is playing defense, Ross is playing cheerleader, and 50, he's running the scoreboard. And trust me, you're gonna want front row seats for when the next bombshell drops. So hit that subscribe button to Juicy Reel, cause the wildest part of this feud might still be ahead. Just when everybody thought the beef couldn't get any messier, another twist popped out of nowhere. Rumors started swirling that 50 Cent was in talks to drop a tell-all documentary about the BMF story, one that wouldn't just focus on the empire, but would dive deep into all the shady backdoor deals, the betrayals, and the real drama behind the scenes. Fans immediately connected the dots, saying this was 50's master plan all along, to control the narrative and leave Meech with no voice in his own legacy. And here's where it got uglier. Insiders claimed Rick Ross was scrambling to cook up his own counter-project, trying to make a flashy Meech and Rose-style doc or series. But critics online weren't buying it. They said Ross didn't have the receipts, he just had Meech's name to ride off. The comparisons started pouring in, 50 delivering real productions, Ross delivering photo ops, and Meech caught in the middle, looking like he didn't know which way to move. To add even more fuel, 50 reportedly liked a comment from a fan that said, Meech picked the wrong side of history. That single like spread across blogs and made it clear 50 wasn't backing down anytime soon. Every little move was being analyzed like a chess match, and Meech was starting to look like the player with the weakest strategy. And as if the documentary rumors weren't enough, whispers began that 50 had even more unreleased footage of Lil Meech behind the scenes, clips that could damage his image permanently if they ever saw daylight. Whether that's true or not, the possibility alone had fans buzzing, saying 50 was holding nuclear-level receipts, just waiting for the perfect moment to drop them. At this point, the drama feels less like a feud and more like a full-blown saga, with 50 playing puppeteer while Ross and Meech scramble to keep up. And if 50 really does unleash that documentary, game over. Make sure you smash that subscribe button to Juicy Reel, because the next chapter in this feud could blow everything wide open. What really shook people wasn't what happened, but what didn't happen. Normally, 50 would have been the first to roast a goofy fit, screenshot a wild pose, or drop some brutal meme, but this time, straight silence. And that silence had fans convinced something was up, like 50 was holding back on purpose, saving his ammo for something way bigger. Because if you know 50, when he skips a roast, it usually means he's loading a much heavier shot. At this stage, it's crystal clear this isn't just casual trolling anymore. 50 looks locked in on Meech like it's an obsession. Most rap beefs fizzle out after a few weeks, but with Meech, every single move gets a response, every slip gets magnified, and every alliance gets twisted into a weapon. Some folks say this is personal betrayal. 50 gave Lil Meech opportunities, invested in him, and put him on, only to watch him cozy up to Rick Ross, his biggest rival. Others argue it's about dominance. 50 doesn't just want to win, he wants to completely crush anybody who dares to cross him. And that's the scariest part. Letting Meech slide would make 50 look weak, and that's not in his playbook. So now, the whispers are getting louder. If this feud ever jumps from Instagram posts to the boxing ring, it won't just be entertainment, it'll be the explosive final chapter in a beef that's already spiraled out of control. One man is out here trying to protect his legacy, while the other seems determined to destroy it just for laughs. And the way this storm is building is looking less like a rumor and more like the inevitable next move waiting to explode. So lock in and subscribe to Juicy Reel right now, because when this powder keg finally blows, you're gonna want to see it first.